Well, flight is no longer the safest transportation in the world. Singapore Airlines, one of the best airlines in the world, is the latest victim as one flights from London to Singapore faced serious turbulence as the plane dropped 178 feet in altitude in around 5 seconds. Boom! Well, imagine that, scary. Like Final Destination. Well, this caused many people to suffer injuries, and a 73-year-old man died of a suspected heart attack. Well, Singapore Airlines has begun offering compensation to passengers. The companies that they had offered $10,000. $10,000 not ringgit. If it's ringgit, then it's nothing. But Singapore Airlines offered $10,000 to passengers with minor injuries and will give those with more severe injuries an advance payment of $25,000 and even more to the others with special condition. Well, you know next time what I should do. If I ever face any turbulence during the flight, I would just hurt myself and then claim compensation from the airlines. Well, joking, this is a fraud. Don't do that.
你是来拉屎的吧？
Well, and can the passengers still sue Singapore Airlines for more compensation? Well, of course they can. In this video, we will let you know everything you have to know about suing airlines for the injuries you suffered during the flight. Hi guys, welcome on board to the Debaters Airline. This is Captain Jason speaking. If you're not subscribed to our channel, there is a conspiracy saying that if you subscribe to our channel today, you will always have a peaceful flight, perfect takeoff, perfect landing, perfect. So the debaters, sit back, relax and enjoy. Well, first of all, a very important question. What type of accident can you sue the airline for compensation? Well, it covers a wide range of accidents. For example, injuries can happen because of unexpected turbulence, like what happened to Singapore Airlines, which might cause passengers to fall or get hit by falling luggage from the top. Falls can also happen if passengers trips over something in the aisles or get injured while moving around the cabin, or food poisoning from flight meals, luggage not properly secured at the top of a seat and it fall down hurting you, problems with your seat, or technical issues with the plane system. All this scenario can be considered personal injury and you might be able to sue the airlines if they happen during the flight. Before you want to sue the airline, it's also very important to know the laws that govern airline liability and your right as a passenger. First, we have Montreal Convention. This is an international treaty that set the rules for airline liability in case of accidents, delays, and damage or loss of baggage. And now I'm going to explain why this Montreal Convention is so special compared to other accidents, for example, road accidents. So imagine if you are involved in a car accident and you are injured, touch wood, you need to prove that another person was the one who actually caused the accident. For example, that person did not turn on the signal when changing lane. Sounds like those from Penang. But you need to prove by camera or through a third person who actually witnessed the whole accident. But under Montreal Convention, there is no need to prove. Okay, no need to prove that the airline did something wrong in causing your injuries. Well, there is no need to prove, oh, the airline did something, or the airline did not do something, did not do this, did not do that, or the captain was just too bad in operating the plane that caused the injuries. Well, you don't have to prove any of those. As long as you suffer injuries during the flight, you are entitled to compensation under Montreal Convention. For example, Singapore Airlines offered $10,000 to passengers with minor injuries and $25,000 to those with more severe injuries and even more to the others with severe condition. So what if you're not happy with the compensation offered by whatever airline? You can follow the airline policy by going through the complaint and demand more compensation. However, the only bad thing about Montreal Convention is that the maximum compensation you can get is $175,000. Yes, it's still a lot of money, but then if someone dies during the flight, then surely that the family will want more compensation than just only $175,000. So what can you do in this case if you want more than that? You must sue the airline, unfortunately, which means you are stepping out of the Montreal Convention and you must prove that the airline was negligent and did something wrong which caused the injuries. In order to have a successful claim against the airline, there are a few elements that have to be established. First of all, you need to prove that the injury occurred during the flight. This can be proven by the medical reports or any other passengers who witnessed the incident or any other relevant evidence that you can get. Second, you need to prove that the airline was negligent for causing the death or injuries. It must be something that the airline failed or did something. For example, if the injury or death was due to the turbulence, then you have to prove that, well, maybe the cabin crew did not follow the proper safety protocols, like did not warn the passengers when the turbulence was supposed to happen, or they didn't even secure the cabin, or any of the precautions or any of the steps to warn or to make sure that the passengers were safe, or they just knew what's going to happen, like turbulence is going to happen. So this is always the most difficult part of the claim if you want to sue the airline, because the airlines always got the upper hand in many cases. Again, if the injury or death was due to turbulence, the airline did not have to prove that they had done their absolute best to protect the passengers, such as, well, the cabin crew using their body as the cushion so that the passengers would not suffer any injuries. The airline only have to prove that the turbulence was an unexpected and unavoidable event, and the cabin crew had done what they were reasonably expected to do, just by following the protocol, like pulling off the mask for the passengers and then asking the passengers to do the brace position. Well, they only have to do what they're supposed to do. They don't have to go over the line and then to risk their life. I know that's a saying that the cabin crew die before the passengers die, but they don't have to go that far. They only have to follow the protocol, and as long as they do that, and if you suffer injuries, it's very unlikely for them to be found negligent in causing your injuries. And this is why gathering the right evidence is very, very important, because if the matters goes to the court, judges will only look at the evidence, okay? And this might include the flight report, the testimonies from the cabin crew or any other passengers, and any relevant recordings or photos. For example, if you see the cabin crew during the turbulence, like they did not care about the passengers, they were just playing with their phones or just chit-chatting with each other, then this could be a strong evidence to prove negligence from the airline, because they just literally don't care about the safety of passengers. Well, the stronger your evidence, the better your chances of winning the case. So now let's look at some of the examples that the passengers had a successful claim against the airline. First, there was a person in 1986 sued Malaysia Airlines for suffering an injury due to turbulence during the flight, and the court ruled that the airline was negligent as the cabin crew did not warn the passengers about the turbulence by putting on the seatbelt sign and did not do enough to secure the cabin. Another case in 2000, one Chinese guy sued Cathay Pacific Airways after suffering an injury caused by an obstruction in the aisles during the flight. Well, you know, there are so many people in one plane and the aisles is so small. Well, basically the airline has the responsibility to make sure that the floor is clean and not dirty, and it's not without any rubbish or on the floor, something like that, so that the people will not trip on the objects on the floor and fall and suffer injuries. Well, of course, I'm only talking about economy class lah, not business class where there's so many spaces to walk around. Well, the court ruled that the airline had a responsibility to make sure the aisles was clear and safe for passengers, as they failed to do so, which led to the passengers' injury. So again, the passengers here got a compensation. So next time, if you see anything on the floor during the flight, go and purposely trip yourself and then fall and then injure yourself and then go and sue the airline for compensation. Just shocking. So if you really, touch wood, suffer any injuries during the flight and you want to sue the compensation, this is what you should do. First, get a medical report for your injuries. Second, gather as much evidence as you can, such as photo, recording, or remember who were the one actually sat beside you during the flight. Then you can ask them to give testimony as to what they actually witnessed during the flight, whether they witnessed the whole incident or whether they witnessed you suffering any injuries during the flight. all this evidence can be very helpful when it comes to suing the airline to prove their negligence. Okay. Third, file a complaint with the airline. Fourth, if you think the response from the airline was not satisfactory, go and consult a lawyer. The debaters, this is only some of the things that we think you should know about suing the airline or getting compensation for any injuries you suffered during the flight. But of course, there are some other stuff that we haven't talked about, such as the possible defenses to the airlines and the type of compensation you can get from a successful claim against the airline. And also one very important thing, very important, that many people just ignore it. When you are going on a flight, please buy insurance to make sure you will get compensation for anything that will happen during the flight, or to just cover yourself from any delayed flight or cancelled flight. So the debaters, if you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Please do not forget to press the notification bell, ding ding, so that you will not miss out on any of our future videos. So the debaters, stay curious, stay open-minded, and stay excited for our next video. See ya!